Welcome to part 2 of my not so solo sail. Current location, the middle of the Ionian Sea. On my way from Greece to Malta, just me and my mate Hamad.
You can shake me down, just mind the ease, 'cause no black snake shimmy gonna tell me how to behave. It's a week-old world for brave young things, and everyone is wondering who knew what, who knew what. You can mess around when you're left with me, but this fight night fury got me stirring up a serpent dream. And if the stone don't roll, then the sword won't stick. You keep the warriors silent.
So, we're going along beautifully at the moment. In these conditions, La Vagabonde just really flourishes. She loves it. We had a headwind all last night, so we unfortunately had to motor quite a bit, which is creating these waves in front of us, which are a bit annoying. But the wind died and then swung around to about 126 degrees, which, if we're heading forwards, it is from over there. And we've got the big code D up and the mainsail, obviously, and the apparent wind has swung around to on a beam. If you don't know the difference between true and apparent wind, I'm going to put that in a link below because it's very, very important and the hardest thing for me to explain to people. But anyway, we're going about 8.5 knots in 11 knots of true wind, and Hamad just can't believe it. Can you, mate?
No, we're going really fast. Thanks to the D.
Hamad's got a catamaran in Panama, and I was just explaining to him the different conditions where I feel like we are sailing at our best, this probably being one of them. So yeah, that's just an update on the weather and the situation at the moment. This could be either the tail end or the beginning of that huge northerly that I was talking about. So I really hope that this doesn't build and build and build. There's a bit of a dead patch which we could potentially slip into. I think that's what's going to happen, and then we'll coast into Malta. Otherwise, we could end up being in a 4-7, they said on the radio last night, which wouldn't be too pleasant.
Okay, nice and clean. Do I have to stand in the kitchen?
Yep.
This is the kitchen, the galley. When you are looking for the wind, and then you get the wind and get the speed you want, you start thinking about taking down the sail.
It's such a shame, isn't it?
It is. Hopefully we won't have to do that. We'll keep at this rate of speed and reach there even in the middle of the night. We'll just start singing.
What are we going to do if we get there in the middle of the night?
We just start singing in the middle of the night.
The weather has built to about 20 knots of true, which is, you know, it's starting to get along a bit, but I'm more worried about the apparent wind speed. So when the apparent wind speed hits 15 knots or over, Hamad and I have to fill that code D in, don't we, mate? Don't we, Hamad?
Yes, we do.
I was reminded last night of the last time I was in this stretch of water, It was my second overnight sail and Elayna's first. We left Crete against the prevailing wind, similar situation to this. I sent my cousin an email because I was like, I've seen red on the weather map but never purple, and there was 50 knot winds. We picked our window very, very well. I had my eye on that weather like a hawk. We snuck out in between two lows. There was 3 lows in the area, and the first night it blew 30 knots. The second night it blew 40 to 42, and I had like just about a t-shirt worth of head sail out, and I was thinking, like, I didn't know what to do. If it blew up anymore, okay, I could wind it in, you know, half a metre, and then what do I do? Like, I didn't know how to slow the boat down anymore or anything like that. We were surfing down waves. We were probably only going at about 6 or even 7 knots, but the thing was, I had no idea what to do. When I was lying down on old La Vagabonde and looking up at the night sky, petrified, and I was watching these waves come in, I'd see stars and then they'd disappear as these waves just came up and just blocked out the entire night sky. Yeah, just as the weather's been building here and I'm thinking about Malta, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about the history there because it's pretty incredible. But just reminded of a few old things. That really anxious feeling from back in the day when things would happen and you'd be like, okay, this is the first time, or I don't know what to do. But yeah, it's a long time ago now.
The squeaking.
I think we're in a bit of trouble, Hamad.
What trouble? We are fine. We're going better than the engines.
Yeah, but I think that wind's going to die down soon.
Well, let's not hope for it. Let's see what happens. I think it's not going to die down. The same way I said I'm going to catch fish.
Yeah. No fish.
No
Minimal
fish.
wind. How did you sleep last night?
Well, it was hard to stay awake.
We had a bit of a rough night last night.
It was a rough night.
We got our shifts muddled up, and you were getting up when I was, and we were both walking around like zombies. It was a nightmare.
I think it takes
In a
days
shipping
to
line.
get used to it.
Yeah.
And there were so many ships around. I was.
Yeah, we
worried
were both
already
too
before
worried
one.
to properly relax.
Yes, we drifted into
You were
the
worried
ship,
that I was sleeping, I was worried that you were sleeping.
and both were true. When I come, you were sleeping. When you came, I was sleeping.
We had the alarm set though, but you never know. Yeah. It was quite a sail with consistent winds throughout the night, just enough for our code D. I saw a lit up Malta and container ships chilling near the islands just before the sun rose.
If I had wings that I could trust, I'd gather all my might and leave the dust. It's the wind that takes me away, my love. The wind that takes me away. And maybe I'll see the bright blue skies, the grass-filled meadows, the leaves turning dry. So goes the hands of time at work. So goes the hands of time.
Motoring into Malta, the coastline's covered in historical sites made mostly of yellow limestone. It's been inhabited for over 7,000 years. The incredible natural harbour and history of Malta is one thing that it's famous for. The other is online gambling. Malta has very lax laws on this, and it attracts businesses from all over the world.
He's a digger of gold, he's a butcher of land. He's Cortez the killer, roaming water and sand. face of everyday man. The face of everyday man.
Good job. Nice.
This is Panties.
So, why didn't you tell me that you had Hamad with you?
Homemade.
I've been
Homemade.
homemade? Hamad.
He said, because his mum had him at home, so
Yeah.
to remember it, it's homemade.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that you weren't solo? I've been worried sick.
Because I wanted to surprise you. I thought the look on your face when he popped out of that aft hatch would be worth all of it.
Did we get that on camera?
Dunno. I panicked, pushed the wrong button and then formatted the card. Amateur, rank amateur.
It was really funny. Like, Riley called me on board and then her maid just popped out of the hatch there. And I thought that maybe, like, I had no idea he had been on board for that whole time. And Riley was like, me, her maid, he came with me from Greece. I was like, no way, I just couldn't believe it. I originally thought that maybe there was something wrong with the engine and Riley got a neighbour to help him or something like that. So yes, I've been lied to. Thank you for taking care of my boyfriend.
My pleasure.
Just while I've got you guys, a lot of you know we're doing our Patreon meetup in Florida early next year, a week of adventuring and sailing and all that good stuff. To say thank you. So we're just going to keep rolling out the names until we can fill those spots. So today I have 3 people for you. Congratulations to Marco San, Risen Mayer, and Kerry Porter. I really hope you guys can make it. We'd love to meet you. Yeah, let us know. Send us an email. Thank you for the support. We really appreciate it. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Would you take a look at our hull? About 10 days away from the buoy and it's like a bomb has hit the place. Could definitely be worse, I have to say. So I've been living in St. Julian's, which is a bay here in Malta, and I've been living with Darren and Rachel and their puppy Bruce, which is a giant puppy. It's a Labrador, I think. It's so funny. It's crazy. So a huge thank you to Rachel and Darren. I've had a lot of fun. I'm just, still recovering from the flu. Too much wine on that trip, I have to admit.
We jumped on a ferry to get over to the other side of town. It was Hamid's last night with us before he flew back to his boat in Greece.
So you're leaving tomorrow, Hamid?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna miss you guys.
I know, me too.
Hopefully we'll be in touch, not just one of those passers that passed through.
Thank you very much for helping me out, mate. I really appreciate that.
It was really my pleasure. I wouldn't do it for anybody else but you. Never.
Thanks, mate. No, that was awesome.
We're gonna come visit in Abu Dhabi, okay?
That's an official invitation right there, and repeat it again.
Yay.
Yes.
Stop eating my veggies.
You finished them. Awesome fun, mate. Thank you very much.
Pocket full as well. The elevator was
Sad pants.
It's really sad. It's very rare that you meet someone like Hamid. I actually have tears in my eyes. He's such a good man. I shouldn't be sad. We'll see him again soon.
Guys, please give the video a like if you liked it and join us next time in Malta as we get lost in a shipwreck
for your life.
and meet up with a Polish girl called Justina who just bought a sailboat for €1 and plans to refit the entire thing herself.
Oh.